What? What is this?
I have no idea.
Shit.
You, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear
that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of your ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to our show, Trucking to Heaven.
You have just heard the inauguration of John Fitzgerald Kennedy, our 35th President of the United States, on January 20th, 1961. A short 1,000 days later, on November 22nd, 1963, John Fitzgerald Kennedy's life was cut short by an assassin's bullets as he was touring Dallas, Texas, Fort Worth, and other cities in order to try to push his next campaign.
Anyway, so this is a somber moment, also a moment to honor him and remember the great things that he has done. We'd like to hear from our callers today to give their opinions on the life and death of JFK. Was it a single person that assassinated him? Was it a conspiracy? What do you think happened?
You can call us at 516-665-1860 and give your opinion, or you can Skype us at truckingtoheaven.com, or you can email us at Felix or Mark at truckingtoheaven.com. Yes. As you could tell from our voices, it's a somber day across the country. We all remember where we were, what we were doing. We all remember the caisson going down Pennsylvania Avenue, John Jr. and his little salute. There are so many things that go through your mind on a day like today. As Felix has said, we want to know where you were, what you were doing, what you were thinking. But most important, do you think it was a lone gunman? Do you believe Lee Harvey Oswald could have done this by himself? Do you think it was a conspiracy? Now,
was Jack Ruby even part of the conspiracy?
Well, Felix and I have our own feelings about this. I'm not saying that they're the same. Mine may not agree with yours. I could begin by saying that originally I thought it might have been a conspiracy, that Oswald was not smart enough to plan this by himself. But after watching 8 to 10 hours of specials this week and reading a few articles about Kennedy's assassination, I really have to say that I think my views have changed. Okay? I think when you look at John Hinckley, who I believe shot at President Reagan Squeaky Fromm, who shot at President Ford, Mark David Chapman, who killed John Lennon, okay, John Wilkes Booth, who killed Lincoln. It could go on and on. These were all losers, okay? They were people down and out on their luck. Certainly Oswald was down and out on his luck. Russia didn't want him. Cuba didn't want him. He didn't know what he wanted in life. But by this heinous act of assassinating a president, his name goes down in the annals of history. Okay? So I believe, yes, he did act alone. I also think, having watched in one of the shows a forensic pathologist from Boston University Medical School explain that the first bullet missed everybody. The second bullet went through Kennedy's throat. It, what they call yawed, or it started to roll, and it hit Connolly, Governor Connolly, in a few different places, and then exited his body. It was the third bullet, which was the kill shot. Many people say that Kennedy's head first goes back and then forward, which lends credence to the grassy knoll theory. However, this forensic pathologist said that when that bullet hit Kennedy's head, his whole skull and brain exploded, and that's why we see his head the way it is. Up, we have a call.
Good evening. You're on Trucking to Heaven, and this is Felix and Mark. And who's calling, please?
Hi, this is Jody. Is it Felix?
Hi, Jody. We're glad you were able to finally join us.
I figured it out, Bobby. I figured it out.
Well, good for
You
you.
are talking about JFK right now, right?
Yes, we are.
Oh, good. Okay, because I kept flipping into other programs that you had recorded, and I kept thinking, I'm never going to get this. It's taken so long.
Well, we're glad that you were able to join us. And what do you have to say?
So
What are your
glad.
views?
What are my views? Well, let's see. We talked about this earlier, you and I I don't believe that he was alone, Oswald. But I'm not really quite sure who was backing him in all of this. I have my own theory of the vice president wanting to become president so bad that he would murder John F. Kennedy. But I have no real memories since I was just a baby.
Well, I remember you saying that your mother was a conspiracy theorist, so you grew up with that.
Yes, she was. Yes. I used to listen to the radio through the wall and listen to the series on My Brain is Stuck. You know what I'm talking about because you talked
Brain
about
freeze.
it. Yeah.
Conspiracies on assassinations.
Yeah, the not Marsha. Martha Ray, is that her name? No. My brain is.
Are you talking about Sylvia Brown?
No, the one we talked about earlier, Mitchell.
Margaret Mitchell.
Bingo, yeah.
John Mitchell's wife, who mysteriously
who
died.
Mysteriously got some sort of weird, what was it, radiation poisoning or some weird poisoning that you couldn't just get.
Well, the problem there was she had a big mouth. John spoke to her about everything. And, there are people who believe that they would not put it past the government to silence certain people who they deem to be a national security risk.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I can't say that I believe that it's actually happened. I can't say that it hasn't happened.
I guess I have a suspicious mind because of my growing up and because of
Elvis Presley sang "Suspicious Minds,"
how
didn't
I
he?
say this,
Elvis
And
Presley
because
sang
of-
Suspicious Minds.
Yes, he did. I actually danced at my first wedding to an Elvis Presley song.
I know, I'm digressing and I apologize.
I know, no, I do that too. But it also brings me back to, and I have to be really careful how I say this, the fact that the reasons that I believe in certain conspiracies had to do with certain people that I knew and were close to who worked with the government, and things that I came across in that time frame, in that relationship, like my own phone being tapped. And I knew it was tapped because I was told it was tapped, and I was told of the reason behind it. And it's creepy.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, I just have to be really, I don't want to get anybody else, in trouble.
Our how we each feel about this depends upon our own experiences. Everybody brings different experiences to coming to
the table,
certain conclusions. Exactly. But as I said, I believe that it was no longer a conspiracy. I know many people in government believe that it was. I know one caller, one person just sent an email, and this person believes that she believes it was definitely a conspiracy, that the angle in which the bullets came shows that there were two shooters. So, I mean...
I couldn't say I believe that, but I do believe he did not act alone. And I spent a good part of today watching and rewatching the whole scene as it was plastered everywhere.
Right, on almost every 24-hour cable news program.
Right, and, the 3 shots, and the woman in red who was a teacher who said no, she heard 6 shots, and then they had the theory of if he wasn't wearing his back brace, he wouldn't have been sitting up as straight, and maybe that third bullet would not have hit, which you mentioned something about that third bullet.
Yeah,
earlier.
The third one, according to the forensic pathologist from Boston University Medical School, he said that it was with such ferocity and velocity that his skull just exploded in his head, and that's
she
when
kept trying to push it back up.
Jackie started screaming and said they killed John, and she said something about I have his brains all over me. Okay, so not word for word, but to that effect.
But yeah, they did. That was in one of the things, but her composure the next 2 days, getting ready for the funeral, was unbelievable. How well she was composed. It just what a lady she was. In order
definitely, Chris Matthews brought that out today on his special at 7:00. He said that she was the picture of composure, and she gave us all a lesson on how you're supposed to behave, or how one should carry themselves at such a dignified and at such a special moment.
She really did. And then they showed, I don't know if you caught this, they showed when, this was weeks before, when they showed the bomb shelter, which was built 2 weeks, and she said to him, we're not going there. If the Cubans are going to launch a missile, I would rather gather the children and we all go together. And I had never heard that before. And that was wild.
We also got another. I just got another email saying that the person believed that if I read it correctly, that Jackie